It was dawn in the village of Mkola. The first rays of sunlight filtered through the tall palm trees, casting long shadows across Clara's small thatched house. She sat by the window, staring at the horizon where the sun struggled to rise, much like her spirit. It had been a year since her husband, Obinna, passed away in a tragic accident. In that time, life had become a living nightmare. Obinna's relatives, who once showered her with smiles and platitudes, now treated her as an outcast. In their eyes, her greatest crime was failing to bear him a child. They whispered about her when she passed, openly calling her a barren woman, and blaming her for the extinguished lineage of their beloved son. This morning, Clara heard footsteps approaching. She tensed. "Clara!" A loud, sharp voice broke the stillness. It was Amoka, Obinna's elder sister. Clara opened the door reluctantly. Amoka barged in without waiting for an invitation, her expression hard and dismissive. "I don't know how much longer you plan to stay here," Amoka began, surveying the modest room with disdain. "You're eating food that doesn't belong to you. This house, my brother's house, is not yours to keep." Clara clenched her fist, struggling to maintain her composure. She had heard this speech countless times. "I cook, I clean, I look after the farm," Clara said quietly. "I'm not a burden to anyone." "You call yourself useful?" Amoka sneered. "If you were truly useful, you'd have given Obinna a son." The words cut deeper than any knife. Clara's voice wavered. "I loved Obinna with all my heart. His death—" "Save your tears," Amoka interrupted. "You have until the next harvest to leave this house." Amoka turned and left as abruptly as she had entered. Clara slumped into a chair, the weight of her words pressing down on her. Later that day, Clara walked to the stream, carrying a clay pot on her head. The path was quiet, except for the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. She sought solace here, away from the villagers' prying eyes. As she filled her pot, a gentle breeze carried the faint scent of wildflowers. For a moment, Clara allowed herself to dream of a life where she wasn't defined by her ability to bear children. A life where she could build a future on her own terms. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, she made her way back to the village. When she reached her doorstep, she found an unexpected visitor, a frail-looking old woman seated on a stool. The woman's eyes glinted with a knowing light. "Good evening," Clara greeted her cautiously. "May I help you?" The woman smiled. "Child, you've endured much pain. But know this, your story isn't over yet. Great things await you if you have the courage to seek them." Before Clara could respond, the woman stood and shuffled away, disappearing into the shadows of the evening. Clara stared after her, her heart pounding. Who was she? And what could she have meant? As night fell, Clara lay awake, replaying the woman's. Please subscribe to get notified on the next part.